Hi everyone. This week's podcast is sponsored by the phrase or two words, watch time. That's watch time, which is the aggregate amount that you watch a video. Usually the term is used on YouTube. So if you're watching the podcast this week, make sure you just leave it on, even if you've got to go somewhere else, because it creates more watch time, which makes us do better and keeps people happy, especially me and my good friend Flav here. So one last time, the podcast this week is sponsored by the phrase, watch time. Welcome back to One for the Weekend. Hello Flav, you good? Smiling as ever? It's good to see you looking good, feeling good, giving off that Friday feeling as we look to move on from last week.
One for the fucking weekend! Come on!
See?
Come on!
That's what this podcast got.
One for the weekend!
Yeah, timing and
Come on!
intensity.
Come on!
Wow.
Let's go.
Ooh,
Let's
careful,
go.
be careful. Be careful.
Liverpool are going to smash Arsenal into the ground.
Whoa, hold your
soon.
horses. Oh yeah, we will
That
get
is my
into
problem.
that.
I do come with the information too soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Loads to talk about if you are.
Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Work them out.
Okay.
Work them.
Feel it.
Yeah. Feel it. Know it. And be it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Loads to enjoy in this week's One for the Weekend podcast, the best podcast you've never heard of. We'll be going through the fixture list very soon. We'll be talking about Arsenal versus Liverpool. A fantastic question has come from someone in the comments. You guys have been in the comments and working hard as ever. Thank you very much. Last week, loads of comments, loads of less of that, loads of policing.
Makes it so much easier to write the pod as well.
So much easier. And we've got some, we'll go back to Twinkles, guys, so don't worry about that. And footballers, wangs, and birds and flames.
Good. We've got a new person on the ones and twos.
And he's giving us a nervous look, but he's fine.
He's fine.
We'll be introducing him soon.
Oh, right.
Not yet.
Right.
Let's
Can we
get
say
straight.
his name?
Not yet. Not yet.
Right.
Guess his name now before we get to it, and you'll find out if you're right or not. And football trivia and all the other good bits as well. Let's get into the football first of all. Fixture list. Sorry. Interesting this week. A lot of derby games. Lots of derby games.
Is there?
Surprised. I was surprised when I looked a quick look at how many derby games there were.
Weird how many
It's
derbies
funny.
there
Yeah,
are.
I want a bit of a run at the moment, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, shall I just run through them
I'm
quickly?
curious to know what diary.
So of course you've got the AFC Bournemouth versus Manchester United at 12:30, kicking off the Premier League game week this week. Which it's a double derby actually this week. So of course it's the red and black derby.
Yep.
Also the Mickey Thomas derby.
Okay.
Our older listeners and watchers will know
None of
who
them
that is. Actually, there's two Mickey Thomases. Anyway, Everton versus Brighton Hove Albion this week. You can guess this one if you want.
Don't know. Don't want to.
The Dean derby, because you've got Dixie Dean, of course, of Everton, and the With Dean Stadium, both not with us anymore. But that's why, of course, they battle it out for the Dean derby. Newcastle United versus Watford is the don't go versus probably will go managerial derby. Isn't it? Two very different philosophies battling together this weekend. The don't go versus probably will go managerial derby. Manchester United versus Burnley is an obvious one. Should be guessing this one. West Ham versus Burnley.
The claret and blue derby.
The claret derby. Arsenal versus Liverpool, which is the dodged a rivalry somehow derby. Arsenal and Liverpool just don't.
And they have had some massive games together.
They're
actually,
huge games.
You remember Arshavin scored 4 goals in one game.
Arshavin.
Arshavin.
It's Arshavin, isn't it?
No, it's Arshavin. Arshavin.
Right. Okay. But they've dodged a rivalry somehow. That is mad.
Yeah.
If you think how much they hate you, they hate Man United, both of them, and somehow they've never really.
And they've had some massive games, like I said, like the league title winning in '89.
Yeah.
Mickey Thomas scored.
The other Mickey Thomas.
Yeah. And you know they've been competing on a similar level for a while, so they should hate each other. I think it's because they see themselves like Spurs and Everton see themselves in each other. Maybe Arsenal and Liverpool see each other in that. Certainly in Arsenal's sense, they used to be a big club.
Wow. Fuck me. Really?
Hello, mate. Yeah, how you doing?
Incredible.
You had a dream? What was that?
Is this for real?
Oh, sorry, mate. Can I call you back in 5 minutes? I'm literally recording something.
5 minutes?
55 minutes. Yeah, cheers. Bye. Sorry about that. Go on.
Yeah.
Shall I put it on the airplane mode?
Unbelievable.
That'd be fucking nice.
I like that.
You like that? Likes it.
I like that.
Bit of lip from the new guy.
Yeah.
We'll be introducing very, very soon. So yeah, Arsenal versus Liverpool. We'll also be talking about that in more detail very, very soon in the podcast. Stick around. Watch time. Remember the sponsor. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Tottenham Hotspur, the odds second name derby in the Premier League this weekend.
Yep.
And on Sunday, you got Man City Southampton, which is the Alan Ball derby.
Yep.
And the Chelsea Crystal Palace game on Sunday as well, which of course
Is
the Sea derby.
the sea derby.
Ran out of ideas.
That was bad. That's poor.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
This is not just a video podcast, it's a audio podcast, which you can find on iTunes, which you can also rate and review. And if you do rate and review, it's very likely that I might read it out on this very podcast. So head over there right now and do that. Paul Bell.
Imagine you have so little going on in your life that you scamper over there to do a review so you might get read out in next week's podcast. Imagine.
Trying to get us somewhere.
Right.
You are in a mood today, aren't you? You're feeling the
I think
juice.
people need more ambition.
Right. I'm trying to create something here, mate.
Sorry.
Fucking hell. Jesus. I'm thinking of walking off.
Yeah.
Paul Bell said, top class crack, boys. Never, ever change. I even now have a little soft spot for QPR, thanks to James' unswerving devotion to his team. Thanks, Paul. Soz Flav, but I can't root for Spurs. I just can't do it. Keep up the top-notch work. That is a reason to listen or watch the podcast. Just want to get that out there quickly. What?
Nothing. Go on, carry on.
What now? Are we arguing? Chief of Police, just quickly on that. So a couple of weeks ago, we got Rogue Gunner in.
Get him out.
It's time to go!
Well, a couple of people. He was a lot more. What's the word?
If people don't know, if they're the first time you listen to this, he was in the comments and he was policing comments that were bad, saying bad things about the podcast and us and to other people in the community.
Yeah. Overall, been very, very impressed. Lots of less of that. A few more of that as well in the podcast. Rogue Gunner, as Chief of Police, he stepped it up. He was getting involved a lot more, but there were a couple of things. One person said, "Come on, lads, you've done Rogue Gunner there. We're being harsh on him." Yeah. Whereas there was another comment that said, Rogue Gunner out.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing thing. Rogue Gunner sort of stepped up, and I actually apologised. I don't think I got the comment right here for his lack of, policing.
Well,
but he's looking to step it up.
If you're like the chief of police in some sort of city, and just for a week you just think, couldn't really be bothered this week, the city falls apart.
Yeah.
He's out.
He's out?
He's out. And who's the one that didn't want to do it? Was he, isn't it?
Fuzzy Duck or something like that, I think it was. What do you think he's an option?
Well, he doesn't want to do it, so I quite like the fact that he should do it.
There's a guy called Kieran Prince, I think it is, or Kieran Vince maybe.
Yeah.
He is all over it.
Is he?
And I've been really impressed with him. So keep policing out there, and we might have to appoint a new person. But I'm happy to stick with Rogue Gunner for now anyway. Right, Arsenal versus Liverpool. Let's dive into this properly. Okay, I'm going to run through some of the stats. So Arsenal are winless in their last 6 Premier League meetings with Liverpool, drawn 3, lost 3. The longest such run against them since a run of 12 between 1994 and 2000. Wow. Liverpool have won just 2 of their last 18 away league games against Arsenal. Of course, it's at the Emirates this weekend, drawn 8, lost 8. Though these victories have come in their last 6 such visits. Liverpool have scored at least 3 goals in each of their last 5 league games against Arsenal. So this should be a belter, shouldn't it? This should be a cracking game.
I can see it's. I mean, look, it's the test that Arsenal need. They need it because they need to know where they are. They've done incredibly well to get, 12 wins and 1 draw, or whatever it's been. And that's great. But in order to actually challenge for the league title, as I've seen Tottenham fail to do many times, is actually beat top 6 sides. And it's tough. Most teams don't lose at home in the top 6. Typically, most of them will get through the season with maybe 1 or 2 losses at home. So this is going to be a big test for Arsenal. If they can get a draw out of it, it'd be a great result. But my big thing, what I'm visualising, is that first 20 minutes.
It's a great result for who?
It's a good result for Arsenal if they draw. I think so. Because I'm envisaging that first 20, 30 minutes where Liverpool come out the traps. Arsenal's defence hasn't been incredible. And obviously they haven't been in a winning position. you know, in the first half of a game.
Amazing stat there. So yeah, if you haven't heard that one, in the first 45 minutes of games, every league game this season, Arsenal haven't been in the lead yet. They've obviously won 7 of the games this season.
Yeah, so they're strong in the second half.
Interesting.
The key of this game, isn't it? It's about the back line and whether or not Arsenal can hold up against what should be an excellent Liverpool attack. You've got Salah coming back into form. Obviously, Mane, Firmino. Everyone knows how good Liverpool are. They haven't been firing, but they seem to be back in form again. They're winning games, but not playing well. Now they're coming back.
Do you know what though? I think Liverpool have. I'm really, really excited for this game. I think it's going to be cracking because I think you've got two teams who always have a go at each other. But I think for Arsenal in particular, I'm really excited to see what they can do here. And I honestly really hope that they do something. I actually would like Arsenal to win this game because I like Emery. I like the idea that hard work and diligence is the recipe for a good manager, as much as the Harry Redknapp kind of put an arm around him and that kind of side of it. And I think that this is the moment. This is the big game where you've got your team set up. They've been playing well in that sense, and I don't think anyone's deep down. No one's given them a chance in this game because they look at the back four and they look. We've said it how many times? The run of games that they've had. They haven't been tested against a really, really strong attacking team in Liverpool.
No, they haven't.
And they will be in this.
Also, Liverpool are a complete kind of antidote to that that high line. You know, they are the best side, I think, at exploiting that high line because of the way they break. And it's going to be fascinating. Like I saw Arsenal play Leicester and Vardy and Anicho. Iheanacho, sorry. They broke the back line about 3 or 4 times in that first half. If they can do it, if Leicester can do it, what can Liverpool do? It's going to be fascinating to watch.
But I don't think you can use those games as examples for this game. This game is going to be totally different for Arsenal because I don't think this is the game where I want to see them. I want to see them ruin the game a little bit. I want to see them be resolute, be really organised, frustrate Liverpool for a bit. And although it's a home game, I think the Arsenal fans will be up for that.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing Arsenal to QPR, but QPR are on a good run of results because we're defending really well. And weirdly, when you understand that you're playing a team like Aston Villa or Derby that we've been playing recently at home, and we're not going to win this game if we're free-flowing, you go, okay, right, get behind the lads, let them be behind their defensive work, if you know what I mean. Cheer that on. I think in previous years, with how difficult it got, how sort of poisonous it got at some points with Wenger, he didn't want to do that, and he wasn't able to do that, and you weren't able to. Arsenal fans weren't seeing the merits in that. I'm looking forward to quite a tactical game that sees how good they can be defensively. Because I think it's here. Look, 27 goals. Last 5 Premier League meetings between Arsenal and Liverpool have produced a total of 27 goals. That's 5.4 a game.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be a huge amount of goals in this game.
Well, that's it. I mean, Liverpool's defence is incredible. And they will have to cope with one of the best attacking sides in the Premier League in Arsenal. I think what you see with most top-flight managers or managers of top-level clubs, like Arsenal are, you very rarely see someone who switches their game plan so drastically. You know, I wish sometimes Pochettino would become a little bit more withdrawn and pragmatic against some of the better attacking sides, so that you can soak it up and see if you can hit them on the break. And that would be a great tactic to use, in my opinion, in my limited knowledge of managing a football club. Not even limited, non-existent knowledge.
Well, Fan League Cup finalists.
This guy. That's why.
Great times. Go back and check it out.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. And actually, if he did that and won, you'd think Arsenal could have a very, very special manager.
Yeah.
But at the same token, if he just goes out there and blitzes Liverpool and wins as well, then you think, fucking hell, still they've got
I don't think anyone's blitzing Liverpool.
I don't think so either. But just to go back to something you said, Emery, you like him. You know what?
I do.
So do I. And
wow.
As a Spurs fan,
very humble of you, that Fab.
Well, it's not that. It's just that he's the way he conducts himself, the way he gives his interviews. You can't dislike the man. Like I dislike him because he's Arsenal's manager, obviously, but that's like ingrained in me.
Do you know who he reminds me of? Dracula.
Yeah.
So like Dracula.
Yeah, but
crazy,
less murderous.
Yeah.
I hope he might have a secret life. You never know. But he conducts himself with class. Maybe
he is Dracula.
He's very withdrawn.
Imagine that got picked up in the press.
So yeah, it's good.
Respected presenters, James and Flav, have claimed. They might use it for the article. Anyway.
I'm not a presenter, and I'm definitely not respected.
Right. Key men in this game. Here's a stat for you, another stat for you. Getting loads, aren't you? And we're going to sprinkles. Liverpool's Roberto Firmino's both scored and assisted in each of his last 3 Premier League games against Arsenal. No player's ever done this in 4 consecutive games against an opponent before.
I don't like those stats.
Why don't you like
Because it's just coincidental.
What are you on about?
You're not adding anything.
I'm definitely adding stuff.
No, you're not. You're giving me a stat that's just a coincidence. You happen to do it 3 times.
It's an informative link that I've worked up here to allow us to talk about how fantastic Roberto Firmino is.
Are you going to say something else about this?
Yeah.
So
I can do.
What relevance?
Setting you up, mate.
What relevance?
What is going on today?
Listen to me.
It's because Rosenbaum's not here.
What relevance?
Wow.
What relevance
Wheels are falling off.
is the fact that you got scoring against the same team 3 times in a bounce, scoring and assisting.
What I'm saying is,
Go on, then.
He's effective against Arsenal.
He's not.
There's a lot of Arsenal players that have played in previous games, maybe the last 3, against Liverpool.
Different system.
Mustafi's been playing. Bellerin's been playing.
Different system. Doesn't matter. Different circumstances. Just a coincidence. Let's move on.
Do you think Roberto Firmino will play?
Yeah.
So do I.
He's good.
Yeah, I think he offers a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think? Did you think he offers anything?
Yeah, excellent.
Worth?
False 9.
Yeah.
Brilliant, beautiful.
Good.
Great player.
Wow.
I think he's out of all of the Liverpool players, he's probably one of the most technically gifted.
Right.
Lovely reading of the play.
Yeah.
Lays it off into space.
You said nothing there. So if we're going
I
down
have
that
said something,
route,
actually.
we're going down that route,
I have
mate.
said James, I've said something. What you said means nothing. Just scoring against the same team. Never say that to me again. I
won't say that. I promise never to say that to you again. All right. Can we talk about? I just want to talk about the tactics of the game. Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
Of course, because it's important. It means something.
You cut the tension with a knife. I just think Firmino is crucial in this game.
Yeah.
Because I think it's not going to be like Arsenal-Liverpool games of the past, which does make these stats redundant a little bit. I think Arsenal. I think you can see something that's actually going to be weirdly refreshing to Arsenal fans, that they're going to be a bit like Arsenal played Man City a few years ago, and I think got a win away from home or a good draw or something like that. And people are like, oh wow, look, this is kind of the blueprint. When you play against these top 6 sides, I know they're playing at home, and so they might want a little bit more, but I think they're going to look to be steady because this Liverpool side's so good. But the players that are going to have to be on form or to unlock them, maybe Firmino's movement. I was looking at a couple of videos about the Cardiff game, and although he is, when you put the lineups out, he's that centre forward right up there at the top.
Yeah,
he is not playing in that position
at all. It's a different system.
And Liverpool they tried something very different against Cardiff in the last game, where they played 2 sort of holding midfielders. I think it was Wijnaldum and Fabinho. Yeah. And then the sort of attacking midfielder was Firmino. Lallana was over to the right, and Salah was playing more and more centrally. It'd be interesting to see if they go with that again.
They may do, but it's what you said about Firmino not being. He isn't a number 9. They don't really play with one, and it suits their system so well. But when you've got Mane and Salah running in behind, you don't need a focal point.
Do you think the credit for that should be given to Firmino, or should it be given to Klopp? And Firmino is just almost that trigger point that if you see him drop deep, then that's your chance to move on.
So I was never convinced by Firmino at all. I thought that he would be one of the most easily replaceable players in Klopp's sort of revolution at Liverpool. I thought that he wasn't the guy that they need. And in my head, and again, the kind of almost like stunted view of football sometimes is you think, well, every good team needs a number 9. Everyone needs a Kane to play off the shoulder. But Liverpool's system don't need that. It doesn't require that because of the players that they've got running behind. And I think both him and Klopp should be given massive credit because they're doing things in a different way, and it's fascinating. It's a way that Barcelona did for a long time. They got rid of kind of Eto'o. I think it's the last time they had a number 9 that played off the shoder. If I might be wrong here, but and then they used the technical abilities of the front line. Suarez as well, but even he was it dropped deep. And actually the blueprint that Suarez created at Liverpool was followed by Firmino, I think, somewhat. I mean, different strikers, but certainly the work that they do dropping back. And I think that's maybe what you've seen a little bit with Harry Kane dropping back, and Pochettino's realising that there's more to a forward in build-up play and defending from the front than simply just scoring goals.
I guess if you do that, though, that puts more pressure on those players that are starting out wide.
Yeah.
So for Arsenal, I think there's moments this season, I remember Newcastle away, the first half of that game, you saw, I might be wrong with this, I think I'm right with it, you had Lacazette and Aubameyang playing together, but they were too far apart from each other because they weren't able to move up the pitch. I think that might be the difficulty for Arsenal. They need to be good to go in terms of the counter-attack. And
they will be.
Where I think they will, as good as they can be, Liverpool often work back so well. They work hard, working backwards as well, the defensive side of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I'm going to be really intrigued to see what Arsenal can do. And I think if, like you say, I think you're right. If they can get a draw from the game, then I'd be impressed.
Obviously, they wouldn't want to. They want to win, but they're a work in process. They're developing.
But as you go along, and I think it's the same for Liverpool as well. There are these sort of these levels that you go through during the season, and if you pass them at the end of the season, you look back and you go, oh, these are the key moments.
For sure. But
and I think both of them are going. I think Liverpool are going through them every single big game that they have in this first half of the season.
Yeah.
I think the entire season is going to be littered with those for Liverpool. But for Arsenal, this feels like a huge game.
It does feel like a huge game. But if I was an Arsenal fan, God forbid I'm not, I would take this as a marker of how far we've come, but not crucial to the way our season works out. If they get beaten 2-0 by Liverpool, it's no shame. Liverpool are, in my opinion, pretty as close to the finish I call you as they're going to get to, and Arsenal are 12 league games in, or 11 league games into a new manager.
Yeah.
So if they get a result, even a draw, that's a great sign of progress for Arsenal, in my opinion. And just taking my Spurs hat off, I think that's the way they got to look at it, and I think that's probably the way Arsenal fans are looking at it.
Yeah. Cool. This is the other question I want to talk about that's football related. Well, it's all football related, of course, the podcast is, but I thought this was cracking in the comments. This is Matt Wicks. He wrote this comment, and I'd love to know other people's thoughts of this in the comments below, so let me know. Do you think there's an unfair stigma against positivity when it comes to supporting a club? I got back into football after a long hiatus to deal with depression. I came to the sport to get away from hate, but it seems like some fans care more about hating rivals and being outwardly cynical than they do about supporting their club. I see people get called plastics for not sufficiently despising rival players or fans. Is this wrong? I'm expected to chant about Scousers eating rats, even though I'm working class. It just seems messed up to me. Great comment and great question there.
Incredible. Who else is his name?
Matt Wicks.
Matt Wicks. It's a brilliant question, and we could do an entire podcast on this. Look, it depends upon, I think, how you've fallen into football. A lot of fans now, if they're new to football or they've found it through a computer game or from overseas, it's difficult for them to appreciate what the hatred means in football. For me, there's two things I knew growing up in my household. I knew Tottenham was a good thing. I knew Arsenal was a bad thing. And
it's similar for you.
Yeah, you grow up, and if you grow up that, it's an indoctrination from your parents and for me, my brothers and my dad, who said, we hate Arsenal and you hate Arsenal. And if someone says you hate Arsenal enough, it's why you get like extremists. It's the same level. Sorry, not the same level and same impact, but it's the same type of indoctrination.
Yes, okay, I get it. Yeah, I've got a similar thing. My dad is not a fan of Chelsea in any way, shape or form, and was brought up, true, well, Chelsea fans. But was brought up with that kind of same idea in mind that you can't, they are the enemy. Yeah,
they're the enemy.
Yeah.
And the thing is why it's important. And I get, if you're getting back into the sport to deal with mental health issues, then do stay away from all of the hatred. But it's also that hatred that makes football great. And you look at, why does everyone like the Old Firm derby? Because they despise each other, because it means so much more than football. It means it's about stuff that football is kind of irrelevant compared to how these two sets of fans feel about each other, but it's a conduit to their hatred. So they're able to just see this theatre play out without going and killing each other. And in that rivalry, there have been tragedies in that respect. But it goes back to the fact that why Spurs versus Arsenal means so much is because of how we feel about each other. And I hate it. I loathe it when Arsenal fans are indifferent, because to me it means they don't understand the club they support.
But do you think that so what did he say here? Let me get this again because I thought it was
The
good.
stigma.
Where is it?
Positive discrimination thing.
I see people get called plastics for not sufficiently despising rival players or fans. Is this wrong? There's a line, isn't there? Because I agree that weirdly that when it's such a football's so tribal, especially there are fans that around the world that aren't able to come to the games, and therefore, unfortunately, and don't take this as snobbery or being patronising, is you can't understand that kind of feeling of being around a group of people that have the exact same intentions, and anything that's getting in the way of it must be destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can't go when Spurs played West Ham at the old White Hart Lane, or Arsenal. The away fans were funneled into the Park Lane, which is a very narrow kind of residential street like any other, but there's a massive stadium next to it, and there is nowhere for the away fans to go, and there's only one way for the home fans to get into if they're sitting in that end of the stadium. And the hate, it was thick in the air. And
it's allowed, isn't it? I think that's the thing, is you kind of, I don't know, that like it's illegal. It's illegal to behave that way over certain elements of it if you look at it that way in normal society.
Yeah.
But in that little world, you're allowed to hate the referee, hate the opposition player, hate the player who used to play for a club that you hate. You're allowed to kind of do all of those things. Yeah. And weirdly and dangerously in other forms of life, that hate brings people together weirdly, doesn't it?
And the other thing is that with football, and I get this levelled at me quite a lot, is that I hate Arsenal more than I love Tottenham. I don't hate Arsenal more than I love Tottenham, but hate is a more instinctual feeling than love. Love's something you have to nurture, and it builds through time, and you look back at all the experiences. When you fall in love with your wife, it's through a shared experience and a gradual healthy growth to the point of where you think, I'm no longer just lust for her. And you may well do. That's good. That's healthy.
I do.
Good. That's good. And as do I, my missus. But
We'll clip that up.
It goes past it to a point where you feel love, and it's so much more important. But if you have a bird and she cheats on you, that hatred is there. It comes out straight away. It's like that. It's like, ah!
Yeah.
Whereas love's like, oh.
Can we get that on this camera? What does that, just manifest that into some kind of emotion?
The hate's like, isn't it? It's like, fucking hate it. Yeah. Hate her. She cheated on me.
I think you're right. The emotion
Love's like, oh, I love you.
It's a glow, isn't it? Love's a gentle glow, whereas the emotion of hatred is raw and fierce and intense.
Yeah, and it's so much more easily accessible than love. And that's what it is. You love your club, you die for it, but you hate your rivals because it's easy to do that.
Yeah, I think the petty jumping on it is something that is hilarious in the office sometimes, but if you're on the receiving end of it, can also be quite grating.
Yeah.
But that's part of it.
He's talking personal experience there.
Yeah, both sides of the fence. But it's. I think the other problem is that in this Twitter world, people are on it, and I imagine that probably some of the elements that you're seeing this
through social
side
media.
Of it is through social media. Yeah, and that's the only way that you can kind of do that. When it comes to me with QPR, I don't, and this is just my personal preferences, I go to look, I want to know what other QPR fans are thinking. I don't care. I don't really care about the angles and the trolling that's going to come from other fans. It's not.
Yeah, if you're looking to enjoy football, social media isn't the place to do it. You just watch the games, enjoy yourself, whatever it is. I've created in my Twitter a lovely little echo chamber. I'm really comfortable in that nothing gets into. No Arsenal fans don't get in there. Moaning Spurs fans don't get into it. It's just people who are measured and considered in what they say. Oh, right. And if anyone breaks the rules,
you're out.
Well, we get a mute.
Right. A bit like our community.
Yeah.
We're trying to create that echo chamber.
You're muted.
Rises. Really?
Yeah. Just a little bit too much of that, isn't it?
Yeah. So too much self-promotion.
Too much QPR. Too much. I'm James Lawrence Olcott. I've got a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Please subscribe.
Yeah. Go.
Are we on me? Yeah. Please subscribe. Really exciting video coming out this week.
Are you on me?
Big announcement.
Are you on me? Please do go and subscribe. He's a lovely man.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. Class. Thanks, mate. You continue to mute me. That's fine.
You're not really muted. As if.
Oh, right. Is Rory?
Rory's
50-50
fucking
better.
yeah. Fuck Rory.
Rory's big on that himself.
I love Rory,
I love Rory.
but I can't stand his Twitter. It's fucking terrible.
Right, it is a big moment. Here's a couple of comments I'm going to read out for you. Salsa Fingers, like that name. Adam's heart isn't in this anymore. Missed half of the bleeps out. He won't last 2 weeks in his new job. He'll end up flogging the big issue next to a pissy telephone box in London somewhere.
No, he won't. Not with that face and mouth.
True. Mouth.
Yeah, he won't need to tell the big issue.
Brian Gitcham says Flav, and that sounds really dodgy.
No, he'll be,
with that mouth.
He's got a pretty mouth.
Flav and James are like Modric and Cruz. They get all of the well-deserved praise. Adam is like Casemiro. He holds the midfield, brackets, or pod in this case, together, which we saw a bit earlier as we broke down a bit, with finding a new way. He doesn't care about the glory, probably. Hashtag we love the pints. I'm saying those two things because this chapter ends now. Adam is gone. And we now would like to introduce to you T on the ones and twos. Welcome, T.
You can't clap yourself.
Can't clap yourself, mate.
Can't clap yourself.
So
T.
Tanvir, say hello first of all.
Hello.
There he is.
Tanvir, Adam was a walking time bomb, right? Anything could go wrong. He might not record something. He might not frame the cameras. He often didn't frame the cameras correctly. Tanvir though is a pro.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel comfortable.
Yeah, no, I do. I feel there's a new level of comfort there.
And
I'm also really excited to what he's going to bring to Birds and That,
Yeah.
Birds and Flames.
Yeah.
This guy does not mess about.
Does not.
Know what I mean? I've seen his phone, seen some of the work that he does, some of the organisation he does, which could breathe new tactical life into your game and the game of everyone who watches it who are single, because that's what we're looking to do.
Yes.
Help you both on and off the podcast.
If you've got a 3-to-1 ratio, where are you at, Tam? On a 3-to-1 ratio of a lady's pleasure?
Probably 3.
Let's go.
3-1. That's it.
Great start. It's a really good
fits
start.
in.
Yeah, Adam's just like, brr.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm sick of it. Oh, grow up.
Yeah.
Before this goes any further, I actually really like Adam. He was
Don't. Yeah, for Tanvir was struggling.
What's your point?
I just want to put it out there with all this.
We all liked him, but you left me.
Be interested to see. I've never seen Adam comment on a YouTube video, so it'd be interesting to see if he does actually check in, which he said that he was going to. What we thought might be interesting is, of course, this is a football podcast, so we thought we'd have a new bit every week where you can discover. Because look, we were talking about it. You have your team, and there are little elements that you can go. Sometimes you're at a wedding, that you'll meet someone, and you'll go, and a couple of words in, you'll know who they support. You just know there's a certain type.
I can smell a gooner in a crowded room.
Right. There you go. Exactly. So what we thought we'd do is, can you guys, it's like a double trivia this week, can you figure out who Tanvir supports? Who does Tanvir support? Who does Tanvir support? That's the new jingle for that.
But what
Get something
happens
going with
then?
Well, so Tanvir's going to offer up a clue, and then you guys in the comments below, let us know. We'll do this for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
A couple of subtle clues and see if you can figure out who Tanvir supports.
Well, are we going to give the clue or Tanvir?
Tanvir's going to give a clue. First clue, Tanvir, speak up. It is what?
I really like burritos.
He really likes burritos. But who does he support? Ooh, fascinating. He likes... Just say it again, T.
Burritos.
He likes burritos.
What?
who
So
does
if they
he
guess
support?
what team he supports, what do they get?
Well, it's sort of a murder mystery, a bit like Broadchurch.
Well-
That will kind of slowly...
Or what if someone
uncover
gets it
itself.
right?
Well, if you get, they'll have to wait 3 weeks to find out.
Any more
actual
information
answer.
about him?
That's all he gets. That's the clue this
That
week.
he likes burritos?
He likes burritos. But who does he support? It's disappointing headlines time. Flav, this is one you're going to have to navigate, mate, because this is highly disappointing.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't really know how to talk about it too much.
Just say it and I'll deal with it.
Basically, Simon Barlow at Billy Bob tweeted this, and he spotted it in the Independent. And it's basically a little segment. It's saying Zaha saying, "I have received racist abuse," which is awful. Obviously, that's just awful. What's also awful is that Wan-Bissaka is the picture that they've chosen to put in it.
I mean, look, there's a couple of things here. One, it's idiocy, not racism. from the iPaper.
I hope so.
No, it is. Or someone's thinking this will be funny, in which case that is racism. But I can't imagine that is, because the picture editor, whoever it is, could lose their job over something like that. So I don't imagine it's just a laugh. There is a theory, and I'm not saying I subscribe to this, there is a theory that your brain, when you don't live around a certain ethnicity of people every day, that your brain can't see the nuances in the differences in their faces as well as someone who does live with them every day. So you know the cliche sort of racial stereotype that all Oriental people look similar? Yeah?
Yes, yes.
There's actually scientific fact that our brains compute that.
Right.
And so that you're not racist necessarily if you see two people and you see from China and you think they look the same. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's some reports. You can check it out. You can check it out.
No. I
have a
get
look in there.
Can I just say, well done. What a difficult subject to speak about, Flav, and you've done very well there. And that's why I throw it to you. When you do this kind of stuff.
Whoever, like, it's not. If you're writing a story about a newspaper, you can't. They've just. The thing is that they would have got their picture from like something like Getty or Reuters. They would have a picture bank, and someone who doesn't know, obviously doesn't know football, because you can. I mean, I've just said all that, but I can tell the difference between. Wan-Bissaka and Zaha, but whoever's tagged it doesn't know. So there's just been a catalogue of errors here, I think.
But it is a disappointing headline.
Very disappointing, very disappointing.
Room 69. Now,
yeah,
we were struggling a little bit so for Room 69 entrance. So I went on Twitter at James Alcott, ALLCATT. Don't mute me, just follow me. I got a load. I said, like, does anyone want to be on Room 69? Has anyone got any ideas? And there were quite a few, but we did then find a Room 69 that we would like to put in there.
But what are the ideas?
There's some food for thought here, Flav. So just quick thoughts on it, a few of them.
I'll just give you a single word.
Yes. Okay, great. And I'll try and give you a reason if I can, if they've offered it. Liam McNulty, Charlie Adam. I asked why. He said his biggest career headlines are for his stupidly vicious tackles and being grumpy on the media. He belongs in there.
Yeah, get him in.
We can't chuck them all in.
No, he's in.
Got weeks to go.
I don't care. In.
Brian Gitcham says, Carl Jenkinson. I said, why? He said, he's stealing a living at Arsenal. He is 26 years old. If he wanted to play games, he would have left years ago. He offers about as much as to Arsenal as Michelle Williams offered to Destiny's Child.
That's true. No, I wouldn't say. I would say no to that, because he's a massive Arsenal fan. He's a boyhood Arsenal fan, and he probably just wants to represent and work for the club that he loves.
Okay. Jamie is JD and that. Says the FA. I asked why. He said because they are all way too overpaid and that money would be better served improving grassroots football.
Right. Are they overpaid? How do we know? Does he know that? Is that just his stereotypical view here?
Well, the coaching badges are ridiculously expensive and price out passionate working class people who would give their heart and soul to develop young footballers. I agree, that's totally overpriced. But I would also say you want to use the money to improve grassroots football. Is there going to be any kind of national governing body to ensure that that happens?
FA. Yeah, come on.
They need that, aren't you,
and
Jay?
the fact is,
sorry, pal.
Grassroots football and youth development at youth level for in England has improved immeasurably. We've won World Cups and Euros. So, yeah, no, the FA can stay. Okay. Maybe different personnel, but definitely the organisation can stay.
Fergus O'Connor, he gives a lot of reasons, but he's gone John Moss, the referee. He's basically saying he's not up to the job.
Because I have zero feeling about him. I'm not sure what he looks like. Then yeah, get him.
Oh well. Jonathan Hartley, Ian Dowie. Nothing major against him, but he's the most relevant person I can think of.
Ian Dowie, this is, yeah, go on, fuck off.
Right. And there's loads more.
All right,
well.
Let's do some more next week.
Yeah, we'll do some more next week.
We've got one, don't we?
But we do have one this week. Would you like to reveal?
Yeah, Usain Bolt. Get in room 69.
So he's left Australia's Central Coast Mariners Football Club after unsuccessful trial, I guess.
Well, it was successful when they wanted to keep him. But the thing, the problem with Usain Bolt and him fucking...
Did they want to keep him?
Well, the problem with him is that it's not about his footballing ability, because who was it? Keogh. I can't remember his first name. Former Republican.
Andy Keogh.
Andy Keogh, right. He said that he had the first touch of a trampoline. And the fact is that wasn't never about Usain Bolt playing football. That was about how marketable he is. And how much... Is it West Coast Mariners?
Central Coast Mariners.
Central Coast Mariners. I'd never heard of them before, but now I know they are. And that's part of the reason why Usain Bolt commanded £3 million, because the revenue that his marketability would bring in might have been close to that. But the fact is, for him, it's not about playing football, because he would have played football for the money that they offered him, which is 150 grand a year. And so you could have played, but it wasn't about that. And this good thing, because there are young footballers who need that opportunity, need that step up. Not an ex-sprinter who fancies a game of football. Fuck off.
Yeah, and the fact that they were like, oh yeah, no, we'd like to keep him here. We just need to find a commercial solution, which is basically we need to be able to use his name enough to make the money because he's not good enough to play for this football club. Oh, and we don't want to pay for it either. Either the Australian FA need to pay for it or someone else.
But you can understand that.
No, I get the financial aspect of them wanting to do that, but it's another example of, and I get it because, look, like you say, it is great press for them, but it's another example of a football club being run like a business, or it's almost like a marketing fucking campaign.
It's the worst kind. It's the worst kind, though. It's the worst kind. It's like when teams buy players from the Far East because there's a market that they haven't tapped into yet.
I would say that I totally respect and I do admire someone going, okay, I was amazing at this and I'm brave enough to take these opportunities I can get to give it a go because it's my dream to play professional football. But the money aspect of it, he doesn't need the money.
It's not his dream.
It is his dream.
Well, then go and play for him. For the
that's it. Yeah, well, I guess you're right. Yeah, sorry, but yeah, the fact that he won't do it because the money's not right.
Well, has he not got enough money?
Yeah,
if you want to play football, go and play.
Ton of money, exactly. So yeah,
he can do whatever he wants.
What'll be interesting now is if he goes to another team, if he tries to keep this going, or if he just kind of calms down and lets it be.
I mean, I could see him going to something like Billericay Town. That would be a good shout. I don't know if they can raise
pro though, is it?
3 million, but that wouldn't be a bad shout. Who else?
He was offered a deal in Malta. Didn't fancy it. I always thought that growing up. I was like, why don't if I go to Estonia, maybe I can be a pro.
Yeah.
But I don't think it works like that.
Yeah, you might have been good enough.
It's too late for me. It's too late.
All right, what are we doing?
I'll tell you what we're doing, mate. I tell you what we're doing now.
Go on.
We're going out, mate.
Out.
National dancehall jungle is there. Gentlemen, leave you alongside the MB. The world is in trouble. Who will tell the murderer? It goes, I am it.
Lovely.
You're not doing it?
No,
just me then?
No, just
I'm doubling down.
a lot of pumping.
Too much.
Backing in. Backing in.
I wrote this the other day and I can't remember what I did. Hang on. I'll go.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, it's not really my scene around here, is it?
I can't hear you. The music's too loud.
Well,
Hang on, let me just turn it down.
It's not very romantic, is it?
Got quite a lot of power in here. Can you just turn it down a bit? Yeah. Yeah. Tell you what, love.
Yeah.
You could have any bloke in this place.
I know.
Yeah.
I have had.
Wow. I mean, that's...
In every orifice.
Wow. Incredible. You're very forward, aren't you? Honestly, I mean that. I mean, he would. I certainly would. Speaking of Wood, Chris Wood was involved in all three of Burnley's goals in their 3-0 win away against West Ham last season, scoring twice and assisting another in a 29-minute substitute appearance.
I'm horny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're good to go?
Nearly.
Oh, wicked. By the way, if this goes well...
Yeah?
By the way, I just wanted to let you know that if this goes well, things happen.
It's going to go well.
Is it?
For you.
Yeah. I just want you to know I'd never cheat on you.
Good.
You know, I would never cheat on you.
Well, I don't like that.
Speaking of being rubbish at playing away from home, Man United have won just 2 of their last 7 away Premier League games. It's incredible, isn't it? 1-2, drawn 2, lost 3.
I have.
I just want you to know.
I'm clammy between the thighs.
Wow, that's lovely. Do you know what? I love. Hang on. I fell in love with a pole dancer once.
Did you?
Yeah, because you remind me because of what you're wearing. I fell in love with a pole dancer once.
What, jeans and a shirt?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a different kind of one. It was, but you know, I fell in love with a pole dancer once. It was love at first sight, or should I say, 4 on the spin. Speaking of 4 on the spin, Brighton are looking to win 4 consecutive top-flight matches for the first time since May 1981.
4 on the spin. That is incredible, Jim. That is incredible.
Thank you. Wow.
Very
I've always
good.
been not really into it.
No,
But
that
I
was
quite proud of that one.
gold. Was that the one you thought was a bit tenuous?
I
'Cause
thought it's either
No.
the best or the worst one I've ever done.
Very good.
And turns out it's both. Football trivia time. Okay, last week. Right, T, you're new on this, so camera on me, mate. We asked you because the trivia's kind of it's moved.
Was the camera already on him before you said?
No.
Oh, that's a test.
Yeah.
Which you
Get your
found.
rhythm. Get your rhythm. He's finding his rhythm.
It's fine. It's first time.
Last week, because we've moved the football trivia, it's changed a little bit because now it's on. Who am I? Each week we're doing a different thing where there's a few bits. I found this app actually, which helps me with the questions. For who am I? And last week on Who Am I?
Every time he does this, that's work for you.
This is work for you. Yeah. So every time I say Who am I? Who am I? Last week, sorry, I'm going off script here, but last week on Who Am I?
Come on, because we don't got that much time to edit today.
Yeah, true. I asked you this. I was born in June 1978, and during my career as a midfielder, I scored goals for 3 Premier League clubs. I played for my country at 3 World Cups, and I won the Premier League 3 times during my career, as well as 4 FA Cups. Who am I?
A lot of people got it.
Yeah, lots of people got it.
You got names?
No,
Okay.
because people are getting it.
But just know that when you do that, in the comments we do read them and go, oh, that guy got it.
And just as a sign of it, smash that like button if you're preferring Who Am I to other trivia questions.
Before we come on to the second Who Am I? Right, second, you have to do that as well.
That's going to be a really weird one.
A second one. Do you remember that we gave away the signed pictures of Chris Kamara?
Yeah, Scott Richmond.
Signed by us.
Yeah.
We gave them to, and what did he do with them, Jim?
He, I'll get the pictures. You can put this in the edit. He, bloody love this guy, right? So we sent them to him.
What a legend.
What a legend. Chris Kamara signed pictures. He's got one in his own flat, I think.
Yep.
Sent him a couple. Signed by us, not Chris Kamara, by the way.
Yeah.
And he's put the other one, framed it, and hidden it in his mum's flat. And it's just there on the mantelpiece.
If you're watching, please let us know if it's still there and whether or not she spotted it. It's fucking
picture of Chris Kamara.
so bizarre that there's a picture of Chris Kamara in a flat, but it's signed by us, 2 blokes off of YouTube, and his mum has no idea.
It's very strange.
What a great thing this is, isn't it?
It's very good. We can do weird stuff.
Thank
you, Scott Richmond. So this week's question for Who Am I?
Bit of voice crack there.
Yeah. What does it sound like if I do it like this?
Right, we'll see.
We'll find out, won't we? I won 80 international caps as a player before retiring in 2015. I played for 4 clubs in the Premier League. My last 3 clubs were each relegated from the Premier League in 1996, 2015 and 2016. My first club won the league in 1987. Who am I?
Can we just end? That's really hard unless.
Well, you'll have to just skip back 10 seconds and go through the question again.
I don't want you to read it out again.
Right.
Because I've already heard it about 15 times this week.
We did it in the office.
I got it in there.
You did get it, mate.
And I
You
never
bloody
get this
it.
stuff.
Yeah,
I
mate.
never
You were
get this
buzzing.
stuff.
You were buzzing.
I was.
Listen to the question because it's very, very important because they were struggling with it. But good luck. I won't say it again. Too. Who am I? We'll be back next week. Footballers' wangs can happen to you. Look at me. I've seen tells. Occasionally it happens. But you know you gotta be strong. Whoa, whoa. Footballers' wangs back again. Apologies for last week. Lost my way a bit, didn't I?
What?
I was crying with laughter at how fucking ridiculous this podcast is.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Footballers' wangs is when I saw Terry Venables' Willie. Massive. And people have been getting in the comments and letting us know who's got a solid. It's called hog watching, apparently.
Hog watching?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I was Brian, True Geordie was saying, he's saying, oh, what, you're hog watching? Because I was on the kickoff, and Gabby Ogbonna was there, and someone tweeted me going, are you going to try and see Gabby Ogbonna's Willie? Obviously not. How's that going to happen?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's called, hog watching. And Brian was like, oh, you doing that? And I was like, well, yeah, everyone does it. And then he went on to tell me about, oh, yeah, apparently Shearer's got a.
Amazing.
Everyone's got one.
Amazing.
Not that I don't think Brian's seen it, just to be clear. So, Footballers' Wanks last week, we got a couple of comments from you. Sorry, I always struggle with this. Rick Baum. This is a blast from the past. He says, #Footballers' Wanks. Classic Bayern striker, Carsten Janker, had a wardrobe malfunction in a Bundesliga game once. Now, he's as famous for his pipe. I like that they're using different word for cock.
Adjectives.
As Shearer for his pile. I don't get that. I don't know if that's a typo. He's also 6'6", so quality schlong, and the whole of the fatherland saw it on the telly.
Good stuff.
And Danny McCarthy, Halstead, #Footballers' Wanks. I was in the toilets at a Burnley game a few weeks ago, having a piss. I have a look to the left, and Alan McAnally had to have a look, to be fair. And fair to say, the Loch Ness Monster does exist.
Oh, dear.
I don't know if it's a low point or if
Alan
it's a good
McAnally.
point.
No, I love it. It's my favourite bit of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine last week. What I caught of his piece.
Quite cool of his piece.
Right, we're getting to the end of the podcast, but of course, and I'm excited to hear, T, you need to pipe up here. Different use of the word pipe there. Birds and flames. So first of all, this is a bit of advice, I guess. My name's James. This is Flav. Together we are Flames. And we used to have a thing, birds and that. Put those together. A bit of flames advice and birds and flames.
Yeah.
Start off with some good news. Rory Moore. G'day, boys. Just wanted to check in quickly. I'm nearly 20 and never had a girlfriend in my life. Recently met a girl and she now is the lucky first. Uni has just finished for 4 months for summer too, so couldn't be happier with my life at the minute. Hope you lads are well too. Bloody
yes!
Lovely
checking in.
Good check-in.
Good work, mate.
Good to see.
Congratulations,
well
and I
you.
hope you're happy.
Yes.
He sounds ecstatic.
He's going to have, is it 4 months for the summer? So I don't know where. Is he an Aussie, maybe? I
don't know. Who cares?
But
He's
just
happy.
go out there, summer love.
No, well, he's got a girlfriend. He's happy.
Maybe yeah, but still have summer love.
Not
go
with
off
other
and do
people.
Stuff.
Yeah, together.
Yeah.
We've got maybe
do things.
nice
go to cinema.
fairground rides. Cinema if you want.
Beach probably.
Beach, yeah, like the beach.
Lovely
I'm so happy.
Yeah,
so happy for him.
fantastic.
What's his name again?
His name is Rory Moore.
Rory Moore, what a ledge. Good for you. Good for
Okay.
you. 0 subscribers, it says
On
here.
to the advice part. Right. Ryan's region. #bullshit advice. #flames. My uni has allowed a few Swiss students to join for a few years.
Hello.
I've spoken to one of the Swiss girls and I really fancy her.
Of course you do.
One issue is that she speaks French and knows very little English.
It's not a problem.
She's also quite good looking, whereas I look like Flav if Flav was a chubby twonk. Any help, lads? Now, Flav, I'll be looking for your advice, and T, you as well, of course.
Why does it say #Flav is thick and #Jamie in fishnets? James in fishnets?
I have no idea.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. Is he saying...
What's going on here?
I don't know what he's saying. Flav
And
is...
have I been insulted or not? I can't
think
tell.
he's saying he looks like a thicker version of you. So imagine you just
I
got
don't think
squished.
blokes can call themselves thick, as in THICC. Can they tell?
Two C's. No, it doesn't work.
No?
Not.
Doesn't work.
Why?
Not having any of this.
Why doesn't it work?
No guy can be thick with two C's.
Because it's a sex.
And what for those that don't know, what is thick with 2 C's for a lady?
Slim waist with a big back.
Which T loves.
He does love. Don't we all?
Yeah, sure.
My missus is Swiss, and she's also thick.
Can we clip that up as well, please?
No, don't put that up and send it out. Jesus Christ.
Right. So look, we'll get your. Did not expect that. So basically, what I love.
I'm
right,
so lucky.
The chat room. You are so lucky.
Like I said, I love you so
3
much.
cheers for Flav and his missus. Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip,
Is
hooray!
he committed
Hip
to
hip, hooray!
All right.
Got there in the end. Jesus Christ. So yeah, look, we'll get your advice in a sec. But what I love about this podcast is one, you're watching up until this point with all the weird shit that's happened already. Thank you very much. That you're liking the podcast and doing all the bits that we need to get it to get out there, because not enough people know about it, and it's fucking good in my opinion. And then thirdly, the chat room and the advice that people are actually giving now.
If you say chat room, it's confusing to people. I just thought that last week.
The comment section, which I would rather be a chat room.
Yeah, it's nice because you interact with each other and have a conversation.
Because I tell you, you'll then see another Bull Street video, and you go, oh, it's Umad Tariq.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were chatting about blah, blah.
Yeah.
You can have a little chat over there as well.
All right, I
just think it's
understand.
nice.
So treat it like a chat room, but don't get confused. There isn't actually a chat room.
Fair point. So right, some of the advice offered up. So basically, look, Swiss bird doesn't speak the language. What does he do? Umak Tariq saying, learn some French or maybe ask her to teach you French, allowing you to interact with her as well. 10 Things I Hate About You. It's that kind of film, isn't it?
It's a lot of work. Should be gone by the time you can learn French.
Yeah, true.
Although it would be good look if you'd gone to that length to learn a bit of French so you could communicate. I think she would fall for that.
Ryan has some worries about that bit of advice. Good idea, but I'm not sure if that will get me further than friendship. Interesting. Then Umad Tariq's then kind of, he's run out a bit, so he's gone, use saucy French pickup lines. Loverboy Shitpants says, uni feeding the poor girls to the lions there. Duolingo is an easy language learning app. Bon chance, mon gars.
There you go. Download the app, communicate.
Then, Sakmadig, I'm not sure, I don't think this is the answer. Learn sign language. Tell her a joke in sign language, then teach her that, then bone her.
That's the one.
And then
Is that the one, Tam?
Is it?
So you do.
Good bit of policing from Umad Tariq, who's back in again. He went, less of that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then people saying try and get past the normal convo. Loverboy Shitpants, they're saying you're learning basic French, and her obviously learning English is just something to bond over. Rest is up to you, mate.
Okay.
So, Flav, thoughts, T, have a think as well. She doesn't speak the language. He really fancies her. What does he do?
Well, the language of love isn't expressed through your mouth.
It can be.
Frequently, yes.
Remember, guys, 3 to 1. 3 to 1.
Yeah, and you've got you.
Yeah, those guys are like, yeah, no, don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, what is that? Tam knows about this. So people that don't engage in oral pleasures with a lady, what is that about in some cultures? Is it sick? Because in Italian mobsters, it's like a weakness if you do that.
People don't like to be seen as inferior or called a bowcat.
Bowcat.
Yeah.
That's the word.
So pleasuring a lady in that way is considered to be
I feel
inferior.
like we're going off topic.
Yeah,
Well, I feel like we are. Sorry, but I just feel like that's a massive insecurity, and it's a lovely thing to do for you. I don't know. What
you don't show love with your mouth.
Yeah. But it's a tough one. But I think, look, it happens all the time. You go on holiday and you meet a young lady who doesn't speak English, but all you got to do is look at someone. You hold their gaze, not for too long.
Does this happen to you?
I mean,
a woman that you like that doesn't speak the same language?
yeah, a couple of times. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
What did you do?
well, I was in a club, so I couldn't talk anyhow, and I didn't realise she couldn't speak English until later.
Right. You just let your hips do the talking.
Yeah, it's just like one of them things when you look for long enough, but not long enough, so it's creepy.
Both you guys try it out now.
Okay. All right. So what am I? I'll be the girl this time.
Like that. And this is how I met my current missus, actually. My current missus was just a look.
Okay.
So it's like this, like that, and then you catch her eye, like that, that's long enough, and then you do it again. And you look again. Yeah. It's like just this timing that's impossible. But I'll tell you something, when I met my missus...
And you do that for 20
Well,
minutes?
I met my missus... I met my 20... Well, no, a couple of minutes, and then you got to go over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that point, you dance or whatever. But my missus was walking through a dance tent in a festival, and I was talking to one of her mates.
Was this you?
No. I was talking to one of her mates. It wasn't like that. I was talking to one of her mates, like cracking on with one of her mates. And then Ollie walked by, and I glanced at her, and she was looking at me for a second, and I was like, you got to get the fuck away from me. And I just went and talked to her. I didn't say that, and I didn't push her face. But I did then go over to Ollie and cracked on, and 4.5 years later, we're engaged.
Okay, can we concentrate on Ryan here?
I'm saying use your eyes, it works. It's the most important thing.
I don't feel like that's...
You just got to do a lingering look every now and then so she knows it's on, but not creepy long.
In
Look.
what setting, though? What, like,
Where is it? In the classroom? Yeah, uni,
in the
that's
classroom?
fine.
Jesus.
Look, wait, if you're sitting there, Jim, if you're sitting there like that, and every now and then I'm giving you a little eye, I do it quite often at work anyhow. Just give you a look and go, there he is, this sexy little man. I just... You just give him a look. Look, I'm giving the advice. That's my advice.
That's
What do you
right,
want?
Fine. Okay.
That's good advice.
Yeah, I think that you need to go the extra mile, mate. Yeah. You know, you've got to make the effort. And I think you need to start learning the language. I think Duo language app thing is a good shout.
I'll add that to my
Put
advice.
the hard work in. Because for me, in a relationship, sooner or later, you got to talk to each other, haven't you? I don't know if maybe I'm being a bit...
Of course.
I don't know. What do you think, T? Do you think
No.
you have to talk to each other at some stage?
Of course you do, but she's going back to Switzerland.
Well, no, but years. He's got years.
What, years?
I'm saying, mate, look, go watch...
But how's she going to function in England with not learning any English? She's learning English. She's doing the work. Let her do the work.
Can you meet halfway?
You learn her language, teach her your language, go out, show her a few places, take her out.
Break the touch barrier.
That's it. Oh, what?
The touch barrier is true.
barrier is
That's
true.
a real thing.
I would say that actually reaching out, not literally, going, look, are you looking to... Told you about that. Are you looking? I think that's a good shout. Let's learn the language together. Because I've been wanting to learn French. Maybe you can help me with that. And then get in there. Then
Great.
you're alone together.
Great.
Then you slowly move it forward.
And then,
and then get some balloons. And then you go, look, different sounds. And it's not French or English, but we can bond over that. Maybe.
yeah. Look,
I don't
no, let us know. If this is a long-standing thing, let us know how you get on. If you do make a move, you know, how does she react? Maybe we can give you more advice. But don't, you know, it's a tricky business.
You've got to be careful because if you get that bit going, like you learning language, her learning language, you could get in the friendship zone very quickly.
Yeah.
So you must be able to move it forward.
Yeah, move it forward and look at the worst case scenario.
Respectfully.
You learn another language.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is always useful.
Absolutely.
And is really impressive to future potential hookups or relationships if you can speak French and English. I can't, but I wish I could, because women will see that and go, fuck, that's sexy, if you can learn another language, I think.
Okay.
We'll
Good
see.
luck, mate. Let us know.
Have you ever used another language to chat up a girl?
Hindi, Punjabi.
Hindi and Punjabi, yeah?
Really? Hindi and Punjabi. Lovely.
This guy's got a lot to offer. Right. Give your well wishes to Tanvir T in the comments below.
Yeah.
Who does he support?
Who's he support? He likes burritos.
Does like
There's your
burritos.
clue.
There's your clue.
And please, in the comments, give your support to Tanvir. He's taken over Adam's tough job. Tough job.
big shoes to
but on
fill.
this performance, I have no fear at all.
No worries at all. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you're still watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then do that. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast on iTunes, go and do that. Leave us a rating and a review as well.
We've got some big news next
yeah.
week. We've got some big news next week.
Very exciting. And yeah, thanks for watching or listening, and we will see you next week.